Good day all. My name is Luc van Geel. I studied political science and I live in Belgium. Belgium is the 19th economy in the world, but nevertheless my government wasn't invited to sit at the G20 roundtable. So be it. Nevertheless, I thought as an individual I'd try and pitch in the debate about the financial crisis, and so I made a PowerPoint presentation about something that I think is very important in this regard. I'll guide you through the presentation right now. The point of the presentation is to make a call to G20 leaders for a new exchange rate mechanism. I think it's very important because part of the problem is the way exchange rates work at the moment right now. At the previous G20 summit, in the conclusions there was a lot said about transparency and regulation and prudential oversight, risk management, etc. But nevertheless, there was, in my regards, an important omission in that there was nothing said about currency exchange rates. Furthermore, because the Bretton Woods II condition is, in my opinion, the underlying problem of the current crisis. The Bretton Woods II condition being the flat exchange rate between the dollar and the renminbi for a great part of the last 15 years. It also contributed to the problem of global imbalances of balance of payments accounts, especially the large US deficit and subsequently the large China surplus. And the fact that currency exchange rates are important is also illustrated by the fact that, amongst others, China and Russia made a call for one world currency very recently to attack the dollar as a reserve currency. Let's take a look at this with a historical perspective in mind. In 1929, there was a financial crisis originating in the VS, United States, and part of the problem there was lax regulation of financial institutions. It wasn't the only cause, but it was a part of the cause. In the end, it resulted in the Bretton Woods agreements at the end of World War II. At Bretton Woods, John Maynard Keynes, the Great Britain representative, had a controversy with members of the US government in 3 steps about how the new macroeconomic institutions and environment would work. I'm referring to this because later on I'm gonna return to a couple of the ideas of Keynes, though I'm gonna interpret them in another way because the international financial situation has changed since Bretton Woods, and therefore changes need to be made to Keynes' ideas. In 1960, another Belgian, Robert Triffin, told the US Congress about something he had noticed about the dollar standard that was active at the macroeconomic level at that time. He told US Congress that if foreign dollar holdings would be a lot larger than the US gold reserve, that a speculative attack on the dollar could occur and that the whole system could collapse. In August 15, 1971, the Nixon administration had to end dollar convertibility because of, well, the large expenses concerned with the Vietnam War and the domestic program of his government, and that started a period of very volatile currency exchange rates shown in this graph. This is the period of 1971 to 1985, when the Plaza Agreement started a period of bigger cooperation between the central banks of the largest countries in the system. This resulted in a less volatile currency exchange rate system, but it is still very volatile, as can be seen here in this graph. This graph also shows nicely how China, since 1995, has tried to keep an even currency exchange rate regarding to the dollar, um, which is, in my opinion, a part of the problem, because that kept interest rates in the United States too low for too long a time and caused the current crisis. In 1989, the current globalization process was started with what is called the Washington Consensus. It is a set of ideas that gave the globalization process its form. According to many, it resulted in a series of financial crises. Mexico, Asia, Russia, Argentina, the internet bubble, and, well, at the moment, in 2007-2008, the current crisis hits home in the United States again, when the Bush administration decided to repeat two mistakes of the past and combine them into one by having a too lax regulation in the financial system and waging a couple of wars that were unaffordable at the time. Recently we have seen the call for one world currency. I think it is a bit realistic right now. First of all, I don't think we can blame the administration of President Obama for what the previous administration did wrong. Best thing is to work for a solution and not try and get some kind of vendetta going. First of all, at Bretton Woods, a system was installed with mainly national capital markets, while at the moment we have an international capital market and we're not likely to return to national capital markets. Furthermore, what would the world currency be based on? Gold or silver, that is unevenly distributed, a basket of natural resources, somewhere near depletion, so how about that? The special drawing rights, I don't believe really in any of these as a basis. Furthermore, what would be done with oversight of that world currency? Are countries willing to hand over that part of their sovereignty? I doubt it. Another question is who would manage the money supply. I don't think that anybody is willing to hand over that part of sovereignty either. So, let's think about what is necessary to make things work. First of all, I think we need a strict symbol, but that is flexible and that leaves rooms for adaptability, so that national governments can find a way to adapt to the new exchange rates that form in the market. It would be handy if it implied an increase in international integration, interdependency. It would be very handy if it was a simplification, but that at the same time it meant an increase in responsibilization of key actors of the system. I think it's paramount that the system would cushion the blows of sudden severe shocks for the weakest partners, for developing countries, and that it is paramount that the process would lead to a stabilization of world prices, and that a better balance between import substitution and export promotion would prevent the size of global imbalances that we are currently viewing.